Today we're going to talk about the lonely chapter. And this chapter of your life, you might have gone through it a few different times. I know for me, I've been through a few different lonely chapters. And what I mean by this is when you're in that transition phase between having a bunch of friends and then you decide you want to do something different than the rest of them, and you are in this separation stage where you are now, let's say, not invited to the parties anymore, don't have the circle of friends that you once had. Maybe you played sports your whole life and you grew up and you always had teammates around you, but you decided that you wanted to do something different and go against the grain, go against the tribe, go against whatever it is that your friend group was doing at the current time. And you now find yourself in a situation where you're like isolated. That's what we're talking about, the lonely chapter. This happens in sports, it happens in careers, it happens in entrepreneurship, it happens all the time, and it's normal. Trust me, it's so normal. But I want to give you a few tips for navigating the lonely chapter because it is very real. When you are in it, you feel it, and I definitely can feel that with you. So let's go to step number 1 is identifying the fact that you decided that you were going to do something different. And props to you, huge props to you for saying, I'm going to do something different. I want to live a different way. I want to have different habits. I want to do different things in my life, and that requires a different version of me. And so for that, celebrate the crap out of that because it's a huge step. And I remember doing this, and I remember what it felt like to literally not get invited to dinners anymore, to literally not be at the places that my friends were literally going to, because I decided at that time in my life, I was going to start business. I was going to literally learn how to trade. I was going to learn crypto. I was going to learn all these different things, and my time requirement was spent elsewhere. It was spent learning. It was spent going to events. It was spent doing things that I knew were going to get me ahead in life. And also, it came at the sacrifice of missing out on those things and of not getting invited to the things anymore. And on one hand, it hurts. On the other hand, you're just equally as excited about the thing that you are pursuing. And so whatever it is that you're pursuing, whatever it is that you have decided to go for, huge congratulations. Give yourself a round of applause for sticking to something and actually doing it. And then making the decisions when it's hard to actually still keep doing it. Because the person, it's never what you get, it's who you become in the process of whatever you're pursuing. Every single person is in their pursuit of a worthy ideal. My goals are going to look different than your goals. I hope that they do, because we're different people. But the process is very similar. And so there's this season of separation. There's a season of time where you literally go from one circle of friends, but you aren't at the level of friendship. You aren't at the level, you might not even know that there's another circle of friends or a sphere of influence that exists that actually like what you do and vibe with the way that it is that you do it. But you're also not at the level that they do it at. And so you might get invited once. You might get the invite here and there to a dinner or to an event. And by all means, take it. Do the thing. If it's an event, if it's a dinner, if it's flying to a different country, take the opportunity to meet those new people, because I promise you they will become your peers and they will become that new circle. But you have to go at least once, and you have to get the invite into those circles. And this whole notion of paying for friends, first of all, every single community, every single organization, you paid for sports, you paid for sororities, you paid for nerd clubs, They like robotics, they pay to be in those groups. Like paying for friends, paying for community has never been a, what do you call that? People do it all the time. It's not a like, we still pay for friends, just FYI. You can pay to be in groups with people and then you make genuine friendships. You're obviously not paying for the friendship. You're paying to be in the circle of influence with that. But you have to pay for friends at some point. It boils down to that. Like, my parents paid for my soccer. That paid for my friendships, essentially. My brother paid to be in a fraternity. That's his friend group. So this notion of like paying for friends is a bad thing, it's not true. It's not true. And it's not true the older you get. People pay for country clubs. People pay for secret society members. People pay for literally God knows what, dinner clubs. People pay for so many different things to be associated with the people that do those things. People pay for gym memberships. Why do you think certain gym memberships cost certain prices? Because they're filtering out a certain type of person, or they're filtering out the opposite way. All I'm saying, there are certain times where paying for friends, paying for environments, paying for certain experiences, those end up becoming your best friends. Those end up becoming your new circle of influence. But we don't get that if we never go to the first invite that we're ever like invited to. But what do we do in that in-between time when we are separated from the group that we once were in, that we once were a part of? And we're in this transition phase where we are diving into the actual thing that we are learning, going towards, and we're not quite there. We haven't been invited into the new group. We might not even know it exists. What do we do? The actual actions that we take is pursuing the thing that you're doing. Keep going with whatever it is that you're learning. Like, start on YouTube, and then join a community, and then go to an event, and then find a group. Like, this stuff exists all over the place, all the time. And it's, yes, does it suck every time you go from one group to the next? Nobody ever likes being excluded, or like, we're tribal people. Like, we're by nature, we want to fit in with the group. It is it's counter like human nature. We want to fit in. But we also have the ability to dream and the ability to create things and the ability to have these wild ambitions and imagination and all of this stuff, which then we have to find the people that are doing that and actually bring that into our world. So what do? Like I said, ChatGPT, find a group online, Google, like, do whatever it takes to find the source of information. And in that source of information, there's most likely a community. And in that community, there's most likely something you can pay for or join. And in that, there are connections. And in that, there are events. And then in that, there are real, genuine friendships. And so everything works pretty much like that. But what do you do in the meantime when none of this stuff is happening? You get so dead set on whatever it is that you're learning that the noise, like that the separation doesn't bother you anymore. And what I'm saying is just focus solely on the thing. The reason you separated yourself from the group in the first place was because you saw an opportunity for you to run and to dive into. Don't neglect that. This is your time to spend doing those things. And if that means spending your weekends, spending your evenings, spending your nights studying and learning and growing, then by all means do that. That's what that season's for. That season doesn't last forever. And we're not always constantly learning, because there's a season to learn, then there's a season to do, then there's a season to earn, and then there's a season to like literally learn again and learn some more. And so we have to understand where we are in the phases of the lonely chapter as well as the learning cycle. And I spoke about the 4 levels of learning, which you guys can go back and look at that video. But without learning anything new, we don't get anything new. So we're always trying to learn something new. All I'm saying, if you feel like you're like being isolated and you're alone, reevaluate what it is that you are actually going for. Because if you were going for learning a new skill, if you were going for learning some new thing for your job or some new thing for a different skill set in your business, or if you decided that you were going to start a business, just know that the people around you are literally not going to believe you because they can't. That's not their job. Their job is to be like your friend. Their job is to be like, they know you for who you are, and they don't necessarily see what you see. Your job is to pursue whatever it is that is in your calling, that is in your heart to go do. Your job is not to let them decide what you do. Now, in the lonely chapter, you get to really discover more about you. I think of it as like a refining chapter where you get to discover a lot about you. You get to figure out how you work. You get to figure out how you operate, and you get to learn all of this on your own without the input of other people, without the input of other people's voices. And it becomes really powerful when you now know how you operate. You know exactly what you like, you know why you like it, you know how you like it, and you also know how to enjoy your own existence and your own space and your own time. Because if anything, the person that we spend the most time with is ourself. And if we don't like spending time with ourselves, how do we expect other people to like spending time with us if we can't enjoy spending time with ourselves? And so if you're in the lonely chapter, if you are experiencing this, the jump, the drastic jump from one circle of group of people to another group of people, just know you're normal. That's normal. It's normal to feel isolated. But you being your best friend, you can learn that skill. You can learn to enjoy the things by yourself. You can learn to take yourself out on solo dates. You can learn to have fun by yourself. You can learn to enjoy rest by yourself. You can learn all these things by yourself. And I promise you, you spend the most amount of time with yourself. And so if there's skill sets that you need to learn, use that time to learn those skill sets. And then I promise you, you'll probably end up having multiple lonely chapters in your life. I've had a few that I can clearly identify was a lonely chapter, but they get shorter and they get less lonely, if you want it, like for what it's worth, because you've become a better friend to yourself. You've got the skill set of handling whatever those feelings are, whatever the emotions that come up when you're alone. You have a way better skill set at navigating that time and space. And you know the practical steps. You know that in anything, community is the currency, like community is the new currency. Point being, well, we need community, we need individuals, we need people to surround us in any aspect of our life. And so if you're in a lonely chapter, our goal is to find new community. It's to go to events. It's to get out and go experiencing new things. And so if you're in a place, simple practical steps, use ChatGPT, use YouTube, use the platform Skool. You can find any community. I have a community on there. You can literally go on there and find a bajillion different communities. Get into the groups, start DMing people, start connecting with people online. We have the greatest thing that has ever existed is in our pocket. It's social media. And people forget that it's social media. Social, like use it to be social. Use it to go do things. Use it to connect. Don't use it to compare. If we use it to compare and we use it to wonder what so-and-so is doing, it doesn't do us any good. It doesn't do us any good. So I hope there's some practical tips for you guys if you're experiencing the lonely chapter. And if, like, for real, use the platforms, use the tools. We have everything at our fingertips to be able to make whatever we want happen. Sometimes we just get stuck in our head and we can't look around us and experience and use the tools that are around us to experience more life. And everybody experiences the lonely chapter. I just wanted to make this video so you guys had some practical tips on to how to navigate this time. And if you're experiencing it, shoot me a DM. If you're going through a lonely chapter, reach out to a friend, reach out to an old friend, have a phone call, go connect with somebody new in whatever new venture it is that you are that you're pursuing. All it takes is one person to open the door to an entire different network. One person, one conversation can completely change the trajectory of your life. And I've watched it happen in my life many times. One person opened up the entire window, the entire door to digital entrepreneurship for me. And that has completely changed the way that I operate, the way that I get to do business, the way that I think about life, because I'm like in this world of digital entrepreneurs. And now I have so many different friends in this space. But it took one conversation with one person. If I didn't have that conversation, who knows how long it would have taken me to figure that out. But all that to be said, your life can change in one conversation. So if you're in the lonely chapter, your only goal is to focus on whatever it is that you're pursuing, and then find new individuals that are pursuing those things and have those goals. Go hang out with them, go to coffee with them, go to a gym session with them, spend time with them, get on the phone, do a Zoom call with them, see how they do business. Like, be able to interact with individuals that are on the same journey that you're on. And I promise you, you don't have to completely separate yourself from the other group. You don't have to cut off people. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about they have different goals, you have different goals. You can love them. Doesn't mean you have to spend all of your time with them. So, I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope this helps navigate the lonely chapter. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.